my god. Oh. 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 Give me a minute. Oh my god. You know how hard it is to out-dodge a flying pteranodon? It's literally that hard. You literally cannot escape it. It's like, everywhere I go, he's there. I'm there, he's there. I'm there, he's there. He's everywhere. Yeah, I cannot shake him for the life of me. God damn it. But at least I managed to keep him in bay for a little bit. Right now, he's literally buried in tons of rock, so I have a crap ton of time to talk about his first movie. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Brumakian Podcast. This is episode 3, The Angriest Bird. And lucky for me, I just encountered it. And also, for those who do not know, my name is Angriest, and I almost became bird food. Yeah, the original Rodan from 1956. What more do I need to say about it? Well, I guess I should start off with, he became one of the few five who will now, well, that didn't happen until 74, but we'll get there. He's one of those original kaiju that sticks out in your mind. When you think of a giant flying pteranodon kaiju, what does your mind think of immediately? Rodan. Yeah. Sorry, I'm baffled. Sorry, folks, I'm completely baffled. I've been chased by that thing forever, for like a week. For like a goddamn week. Oh yeah, also, strong language in his videos. Viewer discretion is advised. And also, I got my own bongos. Yeah, that's right. I'm making my own music. Okay, so after Godzilla was buried under ice, literally, Toho thought, you know what? Let's not bring him back just yet. Why would he just create something new? Insert Rodan. That came out in 1956 in Japan and everywhere else sometime later. Is this film memorable? I don't know. Let's find out, shall we? In the small mining village of Kinamatsu on the southern Japanese island of Kyushu, 2 miners have gone missing. The 2 men, Goro and Yoshi, had brawled earlier that day, and after they entered the mine to start the shift, the shaft had flooded. Shigeru, played by Kenji Sahara, a tunneling and safety engineer at the time, heads below to investigate and discovers Yoshi's lacerated carcass, or corpse. Above ground, a doctor examines Yoshi and discovers the cause of death to be a series of deep gashes caused by an abnormal sharp object. How could it be abnormal when it literally looks like claws on the body? Some of the miners and their families begin to discuss the possibilities of the involvement of Goro in the death. Highly unlikely. If he had a pickaxe, maybe. But otherwise, that would be completely impossible. 2 local miners and a policeman are attacked and slain by an unseen assailant in the flooded shaft. The bodies are recovered and examined, and the doctor announces that they were also killed by a sharp object, probably a claw. That night, Shigeru and his fiancée, Kyu, played by Yumi. I'm gonna name that last name because I'm bad at Japanese. Well, not at this moment. Okay. A little bit of a side note, I'm actually learning Japanese, so I'm trying really, really hard to not screw up the names and the things I say. So, pity me, please. where was I? Oh yeah, and his fiancee Q are attacked by a creature resembling a gigantic insect larva and Q is home. Don't worry, just put on your giant boot and squish it. It worked. It works every time. Every time I see water bugs in my fucking house. Anyway, the police start hunting the creature and it kills 2 officers before escaping into the mine. The police and Shigeru notice that the officers' wounds match the wounds of the murdered. Shigeru, accompanied by police and soldiers, heads into the mine where they discover the butchered body of Goro and are chased by the insect monster. Shigeru crushes the creature with mine carts. How the f does that work? But after another insect monster appears, the tunnel caves in, trapping Shigeru in the mine. I'm sure he's fine. I'm sure he won't come out having a concussion. Oh, wait a minute. We're not there yet. Crap. The next day, Dr. Kashiwagi, played by Akihiko Harada, identifies the giant insect as a megalulon. And I'm sure we won't see that creature ever again. I'm sure of it. An ancient species of dragonfly larva that literally should not be seen again. I'm serious. No, I'm serious. I'm sure we won't ever see them again. An earthquake suddenly strikes the area, and rumors begin to circulate that Mount Oso, the volcano that eclipses Kitamatsu, might be on the verge of an eruption. Yeah, I can see that. Evacuate immediately, please. When the police arrive at the base of the volcano to investigate the damage caused by the earthquake, they discover an amnesic... Terrible words, too. My first language is English, and I'm screwing up on the words. Screw me. Amnesic. Okay, there we go. They discover an amnesic Shigeru wandering around on the epicenter. After several miles away in Kyushu, an airbase receives... See, this is what I'm talking about. I'm stuttering. But trust me, people, I will get better. How many times have I gone back on my promises? Too many. Too goddamn many. Let's resume. Several miles away in Kyushu, an airbase receives an alert from one of their jets. The pilot reports an unidentified flying object performing impossible maneuvers at supersonic speed, and the object soon destroys him and his jet. It's probably Sonic the Hedgehog. Yeah, it was probably Sonic the Hedgehog who literally bounced off of a fucking trampoline and hit the plane. I'm sure it wasn't anything else. Oh, wait a minute. After recovering remains of the jet and the pilot's helmet, the base gets word that an airliner has been shot down by an aerial object resembling the supersonic UFO. Soon after, more incidents are reported from China, Okinawa, and the Philippines of aerial objects causing major destruction, and the probability is established that 2 such objects still fungally dismissed as aircraft. Okay? Are engaged in such predations. I think I said that right, yeah. Amid constant news reports of these mysterious attacks, a newly married couple disappears around Mount Aso, along with several cattle. I almost said cattle. God damn it. When the authorities developed the film from the newlywed cameras, they discover a photograph of what appears to be a giant wing. Yeah, a giant wing. Is it curved or is it straight? They match the photo with a drawing of a prehistoric pteranodon. Meanwhile, hold on, let me take a drink of my water. There we go. Oh, that felt good. Meanwhile, Shigeru's treatment is progressing slowly at this point. One day, in Shigeru's hospital room, Q shows him the eggs that her pet birds have laid. As one of the eggs hatches, Shigeru recalls that he woke up deep within the mine after the cave-in and found himself surrounded by hordes of Megaludon. In the middle of all that was a giant egg, from which Shigeru watched as a gigantic bird emerges. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how he lost his memory, through shock and horror. After descending into the cave with police and scientists, science, am I right? Shigeru finds a fragment of the colossal egg. The doctor examines the fragment in his lab and calls a meeting with townspeople and members of the Japanese Self-Defense Force. He tells the men that the object seen flying at supersonic speeds is a tyrannosaur. He has dubbed... Okay, in the Japanese version, they call him Rodan. In the American version, they call him Rodan. So that they won't get confused with the thing that does with the bombs. And I'm not going to get into that mess. That's too much of a fucking headache. Kashiwagi theorizes that nuclear bomb testing may have been the cause of Rodan's awakening. Just like everything else, nuclear bomb tests, a monster is set loose or created. Why do I feel like that trend is getting so old fast? Because it is. Rodan emerges from the ground near Mount Aso, takes flight, and heads for Kyushu, with squadron of JSDF, the Air Force that is, hot on his tail. I was about to say pursuit, but pursuit, that would be much better. Anyway, excuse me. After one of its wings is injured, Rodan flies to Fukuoka, where the sonic waves and windstorms from its wings laid waste to the city. Good luck getting that insurance back. Suddenly, the JSDF reports that a second Rodan has been spotted heading towards the city. Wait, what? No one has seen the second one. Huh? Okay. Huh? After leveling the city and leaving the remaining buildings in flames, the two Rodans fly to Mount Aso. The JSDA formulate a plan to have the military fire at the base of Mount Aso, burying the Rodans alive. Shigeru retreats to to safety, and the military begins its attack, triggering a volcanic eruption. Mount Aso spews smoke and lava into the sky, and the fumes overtake the Rodans, causing them to perish on the molten slopes of the volcano. Yeah, that's Rodan's story in a nutshell. Here's the thing that I'm going to describe this film for you. You ready? It's standard good. I feel like this movie is the starting point of standard good. Well, what do I mean by that is the characters are tolerable enough to keep your interest long enough until the monsters come on screen. That's how it is to me. That is how this story is for me, and that's the story in a nutshell. As for the continuity errors, however, oh boy, there's 3 of them that I do not like. First of all, the dogfight sequences. They go on way too fucking long. The second one is the Fukuoka destruction scene. Again, that scene goes on way too long. You could have just shortened it. And continuity error number 3, and this almost pissed me off to no end. Pulling a raids again by blowing up Mount Aso in order for the Rodans to be buried or burned by the molten lava. Those are the only 3 continuity errors that I found in this movie. Oh, that couple? The couple that was swept up by one of the Rodans? Yeah, the guy just leaves the girlfriend there, but then he tries to run away, and then Rodan picks him up anyway. Like, dude, you could have gone down with her. God, you jerk. Now, there are some things in the American version that makes so many changes that are actually good things that I'll point out in a little bit. Right now, the characters. Like I said, the characters are tolerable. They hold my interest enough until the monsters come on screen. I think that is a good thing, and I'm okay with it. Kenji Sahara as the lead role, got no problem with it. Also, I forgot to mention, in the original Godzilla film, if you turn your head for like 2 seconds on that boat, you know which boat I'm talking about, you will see a brief cameo appearance by Kenji Sahara himself. Yeah, you won't miss him. If you turn your head 2 seconds, you'll miss him. So that's a little thing I need to tell you. As for the monsters, two of them, and not the parasite. The parasite are actually ugly looking. I do not like these designs. They are designed as generic bug creatures, although the sounds they make are super creepy. Like, oh God. Oh my God, just find me a giant boot so I can squish them, please. Now, as for the two Rodans, is it me? No, let me say it again. Is it me, or is one of the Rodans more angrier than I expected? Nope, he's more pissed. He's way more pissed. Either that, or his mate is getting bombarded with bombs. I like the Rodan design. This is the best looking Rodan that I've ever seen in my life, and he'll never get this good ever again. I'm serious, his design goes downhill in the Showa era. And you will find out how sooner or later. Now, let me talk about the American version. And I need to explain why I enjoy dubs. Actually, no, first off, let's talk about the music first. The music by Akira Ifukube is... Shut up, laptop. The music in this film is... How do I put it? Creepy. In a good way. That's how I can describe this music. The opening track is by far the scariest track that I've ever heard. You will be shitting in your pants listening to this. And you will hear it in your nightmares when something from the ground starts taking you into hell. And that brings us into the US version. That analogy made no sense. Why did I segue into that? Anyway, this actually ties into the American version, where you're going to be mad about this when I tell you this. Here are the changes to the American version. You ready? Some of Ifukube's music was replaced by stock music. What else have you? A prologue showing footage of an American nuclear test was added. What? 50s, okay? Yeah, because 50s. Jesus. Extensive narration by Shigeru was added throughout the film, though I didn't find it obnoxious. I felt like this guy was telling you his life. I felt like this guy was telling you what was going on. Not specifically, thank God. I'm happy it wasn't that obnoxious. Hold on, I need a burp. Excuse me. The fight between Goro and the other miner was shortened, which I like. A brief shot showing mine cars traveling up a mine shaft was taken out. Okay, that actually saves up the time. I like that. A scene of miners' names being called was cut short. The scene leading up to when Megalunon kills a cop and two miners was shortened. Yippity yep. Oh boy, here's a long one. The scene where the Megalunon attacks the village is cut short. A brief shot showing a Megalunon walking through people's backyards What? Yeah, here's the thing. How come no one heard that? How come no one see that? And going through people's backyards was taken out for the American version, to which I like. I like that element of surprise. I like this. I like in an American version. This thing just comes out of nowhere, like surprise. Surprise! Let me munch on your bones. I like that. Also, when Shigeru and the soldiers walk up the incline, it shows the setting through Shigeru's eyes. From someone's perspective, I love that. I love that. I love that. From the human perspective, God, I love that perspective. Then he looks up, and he looks up the incline, and then the camera moves to the left, showing the mountain, and then sees the Megalodon. A shot of Megalodon escaping afterwards is also cut. I love cuts like that. Jesus Christ, that actually makes sense. Smart editing choices. That's all it takes. It only takes smart editing choices for the American version. And I will touch upon that when I review Godzilla 2000 Millennium. Because trust me, there's a lot of things in that film's Japanese version that I did not like. Especially the sound design. But I will get to that in future episodes. Alright. The scene where Professor Kashiwagi announces a photo of the yet unnamed monster's wing was cut short. Thank God. And then screwing up the fucking names again. Kashiwagi matches the wing in the photo to that of a picture of a pteranodon, in which he truncates to Rodan to name the monster. Also, here's the thing I find weird. The name Rodan was an anagram into Rodan. An anagram. Excuse me. Jesus Christ. For the English audience. So as not to confuse the fictionist, that's even a word, monster with the actual atomic element, radon. Yeah, that makes sense to me. A brief scene is showing doctors walking Shigeru into the hospital after he is recovered was taken out. Thank God. The scene where the honeymooners are eaten is much shorter, with about 30 seconds of footage removed, including a shot of Rodan's shadow passing overhead. I like that. And here's another thing that changes. The American version makes the second Rodan appear throughout the movie. In the original Japanese version, the second Rodan does not show up until late during the attack on Fukuoka. In the scene where Shigeru and the others see Rodan up close for the first time, the second one emerges immediately thereafter, with Shigeru saying, "Look at that, that's a mate." It is this second Rodan that then causes the Jeep to crash. I love that part right there. It actually makes sense, because if one Rodan pops up, there has to be two. And I love that they made that change. Again, smart editing. That's all it takes. A scene of fighter jets taking off was added. Okay. I did not know why you needed that, but hey, at least it's conventional, I guess. Conventional, what the hell does that mean? The scene where a helicopter investigates the Rodan's lair was rearranged. In the Japanese version, the scene appears after the assault on Fukuoka by the Rodans, and just before they are killed by the volcanic eruption caused by the JSDF. In the American version, however, the scene is shown shortly before Rodan first emerges from Mount Aso. It's like, the more I read this, the more I become more happier. The King brothers changed the name of the city destroyed by Rodan from Fukuoka to the Sasebo, because the USA had a lot of diplomatic facilities there. Fucking politics. Though one of the places Rodan flies over before Fukuoka is called Sasebo Station in the Japanese version. Okay, that doesn't make sense. Now here's the final thing that the American editors did to this film. The scene of Rodan emerging from his volcanic lair was altered in the American version to make it look as if he was provoked to emerge by the Air Force. In the original version, he emerged without any sort of provocation. Yeah, it didn't make any sense why Rodan would just pop up for no reason. Either no, I'm not gonna make that. Now, see, smart editing choices like that, it actually makes sense. And to top it all off, if you listen to the sound effects in the American version, they're beefed up with like, it's like, holy Jesus, this is much more impactful. And speaking of the effects, spectacular. Tsuburayas, they are delicious. They are so delicious, in fact, that I would like to eat them, please. For a second time. No, a third time. Not without his faults behind the scenes. Oh my god. If you haven't noticed by now, the wires that were connected to the Rodan suit when Rodan was going into the water under the bridge, it accidentally snapped. And causing the suit actor, which was still Haruo Nakajima, to fall into the water. Tsuburaya, you crazy bastard. He is a crazy bastard for saying, thank God he lived though, because I needed him to finish this scene. I'm like, Tsuburaya, you crazy bastard. Jesus Christ. But we love you. We still love you. My God. Now, here's the thing that I've been wanting to get off my chest. I like English dubs. I do not hate subs. It is a rare occasion for me to watch something in its original language. And for the people who hate on dubs, and they're thinking that it might be terrible, they're not wrong. They're not wrong. In fact, I still have this mentality. If I go into an original work, whether it be an animated show, or a Japanese animation, or a Japanese movie, a kaiju movie, I'm thinking to myself, okay, how is the dub? How is the English voice actors going to act? Now, here's the thing. I wanted original voice actors to become more fluent. Be natural. Be like real people. However, if they don't feel like real people, then I can call it out for it. That's why I crapped all over freaking Gigantus. This is one of the few times where I actually enjoyed the English dub to Rodan. Not only because, well, it's serviceable at best, but I found the English voice actors to actually be from Japanese descent. Like, and at times when someone says someone else's name, after that you hear Kun, San, Chan, whatever. I like that little detail. I love that detail. Sorry, I almost orgasmed too. Now here's another thing with English dubs. I am a sucker when it comes to good acting. And like I said in episode 1, I'm a sucker for a good story. But even more so with the acting. And to all my Japanese audience out there who couldn't understand a lick of what I'm saying, I do not find your language to be complicated. In fact, I'm learning it at this point right now. About 15% there, good lord. Jesus Christ, I lost my train of thought. Okay. I'm sorry, but when it comes to something that came out of your country, I switch over to the dub. If a rare occasion where the dub is god awful, I just switch to the other version, to the original version. In this franchise, one of the few occasions where I actually watch the original version would be the original Godzilla, the Return of Godzilla, and that's it. That's it. And that is it. Those are the two movies that I switch over to the sub. I will talk about the Return of Godzilla's Blu-ray dub in future episodes as well. So yeah, that's why I enjoy dubs. And that is why I subscribe to Funimation. I literally subscribe to Funimation because I love Funimation. They dubbed Shin Godzilla for the love of God. And I love that dub too. Because it actually has some voice actors that I actually recognize. So anyway, sorry for that long tirade. Let's get into the final rating. Overall, my final verdict of the original Rodan from 1956, the Japanese version, yes, the Japanese version gets a 70 out of 100. For its American version, it gets a 75 out of 100 because it fixes the things that I did not like in some parts in the original version. I would just say if you're going for an easy viewing experience, then why not watch the American version? Or if you do not want to watch the American version and you're just going with the subs, why not go for the original version? I will not judge you if you watch the original version as it is. That is perfectly fine. The First Amendment applies to everything. You have a right for anything, including religion, speech, and etc. That extends to movies. If you like the original Japanese version of Rodan, by all means, enjoy it like you enjoyed your good old box of chocolates. And yeah, as for the minorities out there, if there are some minorities out there who actually like American versions that are extremely rare nowadays, why is that? Then yeah, the American version of Rodan might suit your liking if you can get past the opening and the narration. So yeah, that is Rodan. And that is this episode of the Brumakian Podcast, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm off to kill that bird. Cut. The bird is dead. The bird is dead. The bird is fucking dead. Hallelujah. Oh my god, it took a while for me to kill that fucking bird, but I killed it. And it is now sitting on my front lawn. I'm gonna cook that thing like it was no tomorrow. I'm gonna eat that motherfucker for the rest of my life. Until all the fucking predators come out of the woodwork and start eating it all. I hate it when they do that. Anyway, what is next on the list? Oh, it tells me, I got a message from the GSDF. I had to jump into a fucking lake to deal with a certain Daikaiju bear doggy. I'm like, are you serious? They better have me some scuba gear ready. Ladies and gentlemen, next time in the Brumakian Podcast, we will cover the one single monster that hasn't even appeared in forever, who has been forgotten and just swept to the side like it was nothing. But why is that? Why in the world has this monster not been in any other movie since this one? I guess I'll have to find out when I review Baran, the unbelievable giant monster. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, dismissed.